Hey, welcome back. This is Dave Dubeau, and today we're going to be talking about how to build a real estate portfolio with no money. Now, I've been in the real estate game since 2003, and most of the deals I've done have been with none or very little of my own money. So that is a wonderful thing to do, but I've also helped hundreds and hundreds of private clients over the years do exactly the same thing. So as you're aware, most of North America's millionaires have made or they hold most of their wealth in real estate. We're going to show you how to do that without using your own money here today in this episode. So today we're going to be looking at a couple of different ways to build up a real estate portfolio with no money, with none of your money at least. We're going to look at creative ways, and then we'll look at ways to really scale things up so you can get the best properties and build up the best portfolio possible. Check it out. So one of the ways to build a real estate portfolio with no money is to do creative deals that don't require a lot of money. So back in the day when I first got started in real estate, I did 18 creative deals in 18 months with very little of my own money. Why? Because I didn't have very much money at that time. I had no credit. I was just getting started. Now, it sounds very good, sounds very sexy, but the challenge is most of the kind of deals you're going to be doing when you're doing very creative deals are not great. You're typically working with either problematic properties that somebody needs to get rid of or problematic sellers who need to get rid of properties, or worse yet, both. Problematic sellers who need to get rid of problematic properties. That tended to be most of my experience. So it sounds very good to do these kind of creative, low money, no money down type deals. However, you're going to be working in kind of a murky area. You're going to be doing a lot of really crappy type deals. A number of the deals that I did were mobile homes and mobile home parks. Nothing really wrong with that, but there's not a lot of money in that. And typically when you're doing creative type deals, you're getting in and out very quickly. You're making a quick little pop of cash, but you're not getting the big benefits of owning and holding on to a property long term. And if you really want to create real estate wealth, you want to own and control properties over the long term. Otherwise, you've really just created a job for yourself. You're churning these different kind of properties over and over and over again on a regular basis. So you want to think of not necessarily doing creative deals as your mainstay, but finding a creative way to do deals without your own money. And that's what we're going to be talking about next. So the best creative way I know of to do deals without using your own money is to access other people's money, OPM. There are literally trillions of dollars out there looking for a good home. If you can show people how they can get an above average return on their investment backed by a solid tangible asset like a real piece of property, and to work with a rock and roll operator like yourself, an experienced real estate investor, so that person can get all of the benefits of real estate investing without any of the headaches, then you are on the right track. So that's what we want to focus on here. We want to focus on how can we buy good deals without our money, but we can get other people to put up the capital. Now, there's a couple of challenges with that. First things first is a mindset. So a lot of people are very greedy. A lot of real estate investors are very greedy. They say, Dave, I don't want to bring on investor partners because if I do that, then I have to share the profits and I want to keep all the profits to myself. Well, yeah, I get that. However, that's really, really short-term thinking. That's very, very narrow-minded. Think about this. How long would it take you to save up the down payment for a deal? Chances are, if you're trying to do this on your own, it's going to take you years to save up the 20 or 30% down that you need for your next project. So sure, you can do that, and then you buy the property, and of course, you get all of the benefits of that. On the other hand, if you're open to the idea of working with other people's money and working with joint venture partners and investors, over that same time period, you could have been doing 3 or 4 or 5 deals a year. So which would be better? To get half of a deal but do 20 of them, or get the whole deal, and only do 1 of them? I think the 20 deals make a lot more sense, don't you? So let's take a look at what is the best way to get the conversation started to get people interested in your deals. So one of the questions that people often ask me is, well, Dave, how do I get the whole conversation about real estate investing started in the first place? And I've seen people, myself included, try a lot of different things that don't work very well. I've seen people pick up the phone and start dialing for dollars. They start cold calling people, prospective investors, trying to pitch their deals on the phone. Unless you've got a really, really strong background in sales, that's probably not going to work for you very well. It's just going to turn a lot of people off. It's going to get you massive rejection, and it's going to really shoot you in the foot because you're going to turn off some really good prospective investors. I've seen other people say, well, you know what? If you want to raise capital, you need to go out and turn every conversation into a real estate conversation. Again, that could be really challenging. If you're meeting with people that you know, you're going to kind of come off as network marketing or MLME, and that's going to turn a lot of people off. If you're approaching strangers, that's not going to work very well, because if you're trying to get somebody to invest 50 or 100 grand with you, they need to know you, like you, and trust you. If you're going out to strangers trying to raise that money, they don't know you, they don't like you, they certainly don't trust you with their 100 grand. So you're starting from scratch there. So what is the best way to start the conversation about real estate investing? It's actually to not talk about real estate investing at first. What do I mean by this? Well, when we're working with clients and helping them to attract investors and raise capital, one of the first things we do is we create a target group of their ideal investors. They come in from their existing contacts. So friends, family members, coworkers, business associates, etc. But instead of charging in like a bull in a china shop, we do something better. We do something classy. We call this the warm-up campaign. It's a very simple thing that you can do with just 3 little emails. So you create this list of your ideal prospective investors, and then we warm them up first before we start talking about real estate investing. What does a warm-up campaign look like? Well, for our clients, the first email is just a nice written email catching people up on what you've been up to for the last 3, 4, 5 years, right? So it goes something like this. Hey, it's Dave. Chances are it's been a while since we connected. Just thought I'd reach out, let you know what I'm up to, and find out how you're doing as well. So here's what's been going on in my life for the last few years. Talk about what's been going on personally, talk a little bit about work, talk about the family, talk about what you do for fun, talk about good stuff, not so good stuff. And then you wrap it up. You say, well, hey, enough about me. How about you? How are you doing? Please hit reply to this email and let's catch up. You send that out. You can use an email autoresponder system, something like GetResponse or MailChimp or something like that. That way you just create one email, automatically send it out to all 200 people. And then here's your job. Your job is to respond to people when they get back to you. You have to be very quick about that. So have a genuine connection. And don't worry, if you send out 200 of these emails, you're not going to get 200 responses. Chances are you'll get somewhere between 10 and 20 responses. And that's very good. That's great. There is capital in those connections. So that's the first email. What about the second email? Well, a couple of days later, so let's say that one went out on Monday. On Wednesday, you set out the second message. Second message is very similar to the first one, but instead of a written email, what we do is a short video. It's a video version of that message. Now, I'm not going to say, hey, read the same thing that you wrote. No, but talk about the same things. So just go something like this. Hey, it's Dave. I just thought I'd reach out and try something different. I shot you a quick little video just to catch up, see how you're doing, let you know what I've been up to as well. And then you go through all the same thing, but you're doing it on video instead of just a written format. Why video? Because video is the next best thing to bumping into that person at the lineup in Starbucks. Right? So you just go through the whole thing, and at the end, you wrap it up with something like this. Well, hey, enough about me. That's what I've been up to for the last little while. But how about you? How are you doing? If you haven't had a chance yet, please hit reply to this email. Let me know how you're doing. You don't have to film a video. I just like to find out how you're doing. Take care. Talk to you soon. Send that out to all 200 people. And again, you're probably going to get another 10 to 20 responses there. And there is capital in those connections. Now you're saying, okay, well, that's all good, but when are we going to start the conversation about real estate? Well, that's the third message. The third message is what I call the transition message. And here's where the gold is. So in the transition message, I'm going to recommend that you do it by video, but this one is really short. It goes something like this. Well, hey, it's Dave. Just want to let you know it's been really good reconnecting with you over the last week or so. And I just want to let you know that moving ahead, I plan on doing a much better job of staying in touch and letting you know what I'm up to with real estate. Real estate is something I'm very passionate about, doing really well with it, In fact, I think real estate is the best way for everyday folks like you and like myself to get an above average return on our money backed by something solid and tangible, real property. And hey, who knows? Maybe sometime in the future, you might even want to partner with me and share in the profits on a deal. But you know what? If you're really not interested in real estate, that's okay too. You can always click unsubscribe at the bottom of any of my emails. You'll be taken off my list immediately. My feelings might be hurt for a little while, but eventually I'll get over it. Okay, in the meantime, if you haven't had a chance to get back to me, please, please, please hit reply to this email and let's catch up. I'd love to hear from you. Take care and talk to you soon. Send that one off. So what have we done with these 3 messages? We have warmed people up. We've broken the ice. We've reconnected with dozens of prospective investors, and we've let them know that moving ahead, we're going to do a better job of staying in touch and letting them know what we're up to with real estate investing. It works like gangbusters. This is so much better than just charging in cold trying to pitch your deals. Make sure you do this. Now, a great example of how well this can work is our client, Bruno. When we first started working with Bruno, he was actually fairly new to the country. He was from Mexico originally. He had some experience in real estate in Mexico, but none here. So he was starting from scratch. He wanted to get into multifamily properties. We went through this whole process, created his list of prospective investors, and then warmed them up. And here's the cool thing. One of those people reached out to Bruno and said, "Hey, Bruno, that's cool that you're doing real estate. Tell me more." So he ended up booking a meeting with that person. He walked through his investor presentation with them, and he got them enrolled in that very first meeting, and they put in $200,000 for his first multifamily property. That's how well this can work. Now, speaking of investors, if you'd like to get those kind of results and attract investors and warm them up, if you'd like to see exactly how this all works, then go ahead, get a copy of my book, Money Partner Formula. It walks through the entire process. You can get that by clicking on the link in the description below or by going to investorattractionbook.com.